I am coming for you.
In many movies, grief is shown as a beautifully slow, albeit sad process. But that isn't always the case as it is in life. For some of us, the act of mourning for ourselves or our loved ones can be shocking, transient, or even mentally violent. That's not to say that there's an onset of more trauma that you now have to go through. For many, it's like walking through fire. It's a form of purification. In the case of Alone, it's not a gory slasher flick like Saw, nor is it a supernatural creation like The Ring. Alone features Jules Wilcox, who's done many TV roles, in the lead as Jessica, a recent widow who decides to leave the city she and her former husband once lived in. Without giving any spoilers away, the film has her encounter someone, not gonna say who, but someone who follows her due to a chance encounter. From there, things get very suspenseful, and it's a lot like The Invisible Man with Elizabeth Moss, but never horrifying like The Conjuring. First off, I want to say that this viewing is a great lead up to Halloween as you save the scarier and bigger stuff for the big night. It's like the perfect hors d'oeuvre to the big meal of the season. It gets the palate going. This movie, on the outside, is an intense chase between two people. It is well made for its budget, well acted, and is most likely a vehicle for director John Hyams and writer Matthias Olsson, who are gaining momentum with some solid credits. And as this shows, they have a good ability to create a well-crafted story without ballooning the budget. I will say that there is a subdued approach by the production, designer, and director to storyboard these tense sequences without much of a Spielbergian finesse. It's very grounded, photographically, like Winter's Bone with Jennifer Lawrence. And they only go so far as to tell the story as is, with a few close-up shots of the actors' faces at key moments. You won't see any water ripples in a cup before a big surprise or a turnabout Hitchcockian level shot in a suspenseful sequence throughout most, if not all, of the movie. I think they are letting the events play out naturally. Now, this film is a reboot of a Swedish film, and it's possible they may be mimicking some techniques that the original filmmakers were doing. In short, there are great moments of suspense, and then there are moments that are designed to be suspenseful. But because of the direction, they fall short. If you're looking for something original, grounded, well acted, this would be the type of movie for you, and is best watched with someone else or in a group. I hold this reward for movies like this because it gets you on a very visceral level when you can imagine this also happening to you simply because of an innocent mistake you made, like the protagonist. These are real world scares, not supernatural or ultra violent, so it will be relatable on many levels. The final act of the film is better than the second, which I felt meandered a little bit, with a resolution that is heightened in its delivery and more action-packed. I felt like it could have been that way from a much earlier point in time. All chases must come to an end, so how does this film resolve itself? Well, it's sort of a mixed bag, because after the movie, my wife and I felt that the movie was good and great on many levels, but we were left feeling that something about the main character was inadequately told. Maybe the filmmakers felt too much backstory would get in the way of the adrenaline they wanted to bake into the movie. Maybe it was filmed and they took it out for pacing reasons. I asked you to watch this and come back to me and tell me if you agree with me, because you may not realize why in this story this particular person needed to be in this particular story. Behind the best stories are the specific characters that need to live them. I felt like many different types of characters could have been in this movie. That's not always a great sign. The ending is expected, but it's very important to feel her growth emotionally as she gets there, or the resolution feels less like an earned reward and more of a grounded, light fare handout. If you saw Alone or are in the midst of watching it, please let me know if you agree with my opinions, and please leave a comment, as your voice does matter. Join the Discord in the link below, and become a forum panelist and fan. I also ask you to consider becoming a Patreon of the channel. Thank you for coming. Enjoy the show.